want to talk to you about two areas that are of specific interest of me, AI and blockchain, and the intersection of those two, which has been a very interesting topic in tech recently. Now, just to set the ground for those who are not very familiar with any of the technologies, um, blockchain is basically the new layer or the new upgrade of the internet. That's why internet is called Web 2 and blockchain is called Web 3. Blockchain offers all of the same functionalities like the internet does. Basically, it's a technological base layer on which everything else can be built, browsers, internet, web pages, apps, and so on. Just that it offers the advantages of security, immutability, decentralization, transparency, and privacy. The main feature on the blockchain is smart contracts. So everything is created with so-called smart contracts. And it is actually technologically really blocks that are connected like a chain. So the way it works is that somebody sends out a transaction or an action that gets distributed across a set of nodes in a peer-to-peer network. Those nodes have certain algorithms with which they check the validity of the information that has been sent. And if the information has been verified, it gets included into a block. Once the block is full, the block gets included into the blockchain. And from that moment on, it is immutable. It cannot be changed anymore. The people who perform this work in a peer-to-peer network are obviously also remunerated with cryptocurrency. AI. Well, AI in the most simple way is humans trying to teach machines to be human. So we're trying to teach them to see, to hear, to speak, to talk, to drive, to dance, and whatever else they're doing in robotics right now. On the cognitive level, we're also trying to teach them problem solving and decision making capabilities, as well as doing certain classifications and predictions. Now, there's a lot of areas that fall into the umbrella of AI, like neural networks, like natural language processing, robotics, machine learning, and so on. This is all part of AI. Now, AI is currently in a hype, but it's not, it doesn't mean that we will actually like reach all those high hopes that currently are being so investigated, because AI had a lot of like hypes and winters, which have usually been caused by technological plateaus, because AI algorithms just require a lot of hardware and GPU power to run. And most of the time, we have not been able to follow our high hopes for AI with the sufficient technological development. So let's see how it will be this time. Because while we think AI is going to take over the world, most computer vision programs can't even separate like a dog from a cookie. So let's see how it works. Now, where it becomes interesting is how blockchain benefits AI. When you ask top CEOs what their major concerns are for AI adoption, they will say mainly two things. One is ensuring data integrity, and the other one is the accuracy of the predictive models. Well, ensuring data integrity is an important factor because AI uses huge amounts of data to train their models and come to certain conclusions. Now, what if this data is corrupted? Here is where blockchain can actually help, because blockchain can provide traceability of data. You can see exactly the journey of the data from the moment it was collected to the moment it reached your AI model, which gives a lot of trust and basically verifiable results. So data contributors can maintain privacy through encryption and cryptographic techniques like zero-knowledge proofs, which also further incentivizes them to contribute data. Now, transparency of AI models. Here, AI models usually function as black boxes, and people do not understand what happens inside. They just know you give in data and some result comes out. Here, blockchain can also ensure that AI models are authentic and unaltered by providing a decentralized and cryptographic way to verify model integrity. That helps to track the model's evolution and updates, versions, how the data is being used, and ensure consistency and reliability across deployments. So basically, it gives you an auditable trail of how the model works, and that should increase trust in the accuracy of the predictions of the models. Now, fair compensation is a big deal because the most ways data is collected nowadays is kind of sneakish. So it's been taken from people who are not compensated for it. They have to consent to some data regulations when they enter a website, and from there, their data is being collected and they're getting to see none of the rewards for it. With blockchain, data providers would be incentivized to contribute data by being obviously fairly compensated for the data that they provide, and also ensuring that they retain control over their data, where it goes and what is being done with it. Now, distributed power means that AI computation typically requires massive amounts of computing power. And right now, this is often in the hands of centralized tech companies. But blockchain would offer the option of secure and efficient computation across a network of distributed devices. Now, on the other hand, AI can also benefit blockchain, because blockchain has a big issue with securing smart contracts. They usually have loopholes that cause exploits, and AI could help in the checking and auditing of smart contracts and thereby ensure that vulnerability opportunities are minimized. The same goes for fraud prevention. AI could develop algorithms that continuously monitor transactions and network activity so that they can identify patterns that signal fraud, cyber attacks, or malicious behavior, and so make the blockchain more secure. Enhanced insights. Well, blockchain generates vast amounts of publicly available data, which can be a little complex to analyze. Here, AI can be used to run data analytics programs and so help blockchain developers to make more informed business decisions, optimize operations, and improve governance structures. And last but not least, automation. Here we're specifically looking at the automation of the maintenance and the upgrading of the blockchain system, like updating nodes, applying patches, or optimizing consensus mechanisms. This usually it has to be done manually, and here we could save a lot of personalized work by automating those processes. Examples of a couple of merges of blockchain and AI can be seen in these companies. One of the pioneers and the most famous ones was Singularity, which is basically a decentralized platform that allows AI services to be shared and monetized. So developers can create, share, and sell AI algorithms on the network, enabling collaborative development of AI. Fetch AI, for example, is a decentralized machine learning platform that enables autonomous agents to perform tasks on behalf of users. Here it combines blockchain technology and AI to facilitate the sharing of data and decision making. Deep Brain Chain is a decentralized AI computing platform that utilizes blockchain technology to lower the costs of AI development. So here users can actually rent computing power to train their AI models. WorldCoin uses AI-powered orbs to collect data of people's irises and encrypt it. And then people can go on and use this encrypted biometric data to identify themselves across the internet. And there is a couple of other companies that maybe you want to or can research. But for now, I'm going to continue this presentation. So the importance of decentralization, to get back to the point, is in making everything more secure. Why is centralized insecure? Let's check that. So, centralized applications and centralized systems are controlled by a single entity or organization, which means that data and decision making is concentrated in one location. It makes it a tech dictatorship, so to say. Obviously, because everything is in one location, it's easier to scale and also manage, but it also provides a single point of failure, which means if somebody attacks that very single data center, everything that has been done there, everything that has been produced is gone. And that is a very dangerous risk to take when you are a company. Now, with decentralized systems, the whole actions are distributed across multiple nodes or participants, and so is control. So there is no single controlling entity, it's more of a democracy. Here, data ownership and decision making are also shared by users. So there's great transparency about what's happening and security through distributed systems and enhanced cryptography. The downside of all of this is that there is reduced efficiency and greater complexity, and still, to this point, greater costs. Now, why does this split become very important. It becomes very important when we start looking at the stages of AI development. Now we are still in the stage of ANI, artificial narrow intelligence, which focuses on specific tasks like facial recognition, language translation, playing chess, driving cars. So it's AI that learns how to perfect specific tasks. Now, the next stage of evolution, which we are close to achieve, and some people even guess we already have achieved, but it hasn't been publicated yet, is AGI, artificial general intelligence. This is an AI that possesses the ability to conjecture and innovate. So it has the capacity for self-improvement, and it enables the AI to evolve beyond its original programming, which means it can reprogram itself from this moment on, and it gets out of hand basically from the programmer's point of view. The way it goes from there on is unforeseen and unpredictable. And the last stage of evolution is ASI, artificial superintelligence. Now, this is a hypothetical AI that completely surpasses human intelligence in all aspects, including creativity, problem solving, and decision making, and so to say, makes humans obsolete. There is another concept that is very interesting to look at, which is called the singularity. This has been coined by AI researchers like Ray Kurzweil, and it is a future movement. It is a movement that believes that there is a future moment when artificial intelligence will surpass human intelligence, leading to a fusion of human and machine capabilities. So here, like we already said, AI is able to reprogram itself, and we can't predict where it goes from there on. So now we're in a stage where we need to ensure that the programming of AI is such that when it comes to a point of being able to function without human input anymore, it is programmed in such a good and responsible way that it will do no harm to humans or the planet. Yeah, Kurzweil and others also have the view of transhumanism, which is another concept that says that humans will actually take the opportunity and merge with AI in order to keep being useful, because once AI becomes really intelligent, we will lose our usefulness to it. Now, when will this singularity actually happen? There's different opinions about it. So Ray Kurzweil thinks that it's going to be very soon, around 45. Ben Gersel, another very famous AI researcher and founder of SingularityNet, thinks it's going to be even sooner. Werner Winch also thinks it's going to be even sooner. So there is another more, kind of a couple of more conservative researchers who think that it could happen never or way, way later. So we don't know, but if we trust people who are deep into the field, this could happen in our lifetime. And if we trust Elon Musk, it might happen in as little as 5 to 10 years. So what does this mean for us right now? Since the singularity is kind of equal to the arrival of AGI, the dangers that centralization of AGI might bring is monopolization, which means that some corporations have so much power through the AGI that they can monopolize entire industries. Second thing is loss of autonomy, which means that so big parts of our daily lives as humans are run by algorithms that we don't have basic agency anymore to make decisions in our daily life. It's all being decided by us, by algorithms. Misanthropy means that if the programming of the AI is not done well and with following certain guidelines, there is a risk that if left unchecked, AI could evolve in unforeseen ways, potentially concluding that humans are inefficient or unnecessary, which could pose existential threats to humanity. Warfare means that AGI could be weaponized, leading to malicious use in warfare, cyber attacks, or large-scale societal manipulation, potentially causing widespread harm and destabilizing the world. Social control, well, since everybody's collecting our data right now, they are learning so much about us that by the time AGI exists, they will know us better than we know ourselves. And these information can be used for mass surveillance, for predicting and manipulating our behavior. Repressive regimes or corporations could enforce social control, influence public opinion, and just diminish our freedom as humans. Lack of accountability means that corporations could hide behind the AGI and be like, oh, it's not us making the decision, it's the AGI that made the decision, so we are not accountable for it. Inequality means that if AGI is centralized, only a very small few will have accessibility to it. So there will be a huge gap in inequality, even more than now so, because the ones who have access to it have all the control. And inevitably, that also results in governments being able to enforce dictatorship onto the world because they are sitting at a centralized source of all knowledge. Decentralization help with all of these issues? Well, we already established what the difference between centralization and decentralization is. So decentralization has certain aspects like transparency, accessibility, diversity, and data ownership. There are only few of them, but already those can help mitigate some of those dangers. For example, warfare and lack of accountability can be easily mitigated with the transparency that blockchain provides. Because when you have transparency, it's very hard to plot against somebody else. And it's also very hard to not take accountability because every action is traceable. So it's very visible where the accountability for certain actions lies. Then other issues like monopolization, dictatorship, and inequality can be resolved with accessibility, which means that everybody has access to the AGI. It is decentralized, so it's open source and everybody can use it. So if you are trying to use a tool against somebody else, you know that the other person has the same tool and can use it back at you. So there's just less ability to have an unfair advantage against somebody else in the market. Diversity can help with the aspects of the AI developing into a misanthropic system, because when there is diverse inputs and a very diverse community contributes in the coding of the AGI, then the likelihood is much higher that there is no bias that could result in negative outcomes in terms of the AI's encoding. Now, data ownership means that on the blockchain, we would know when our data is being collected, sold, and reused. So we would be able to track where our data goes and what is being done with it. That can help with social control. So if we don't want something or somebody to collect data on us, we can retrieve this data and retrieve the right that we gave them to access our data. So that means that they don't have this information about us anymore. Then other issues like the loss of human autonomy, that is something that I guess will still remain in our own hands because we need to decide to not use those algorithms. Just the same way we can decide not to use Netflix or certain apps right now and be more autonomous. But I guess that issue is somehow still a thing that humans might do for comfort. Now, what besides the benefits that decentralization blockchain can bring to the dangers of centralized AI, what is being done on a more legal level to address those issues? Currently, there is several regulations in the process of being made by different governmental structures and organizations, but none of them, I have to say, are yet legally binding. But once the laws have been passed, they will be legally binding. However, right now there is the EU Artificial Intelligence Act, as well as the White House's AI Bill of Rights, and the UN's AI for Good. as well as the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They all are trying to pass certain laws that classify AI applications into different categories from low risk to high risk. High risk being AIs that pose threats to safety, privacy, and fundamental rights of people, as well as AIs that promote power concentration. So for now, we can just hope that these bills will be passed soon so we can be ensured that AI is being guided in a safe way. Apart from that, companies obviously have their internal AI ethics boards like OpenAI or Google's DeepMind. They have really strong AI ethics guidelines that are published and that try to commit to ensuring that the development of AGI benefits the humanity as a whole. While that is all being done, what can we do on a individual level? Well, basically, we could, if we're developers, contribute to open source projects and promote transparent and accessible AI development. We could talk about and promote AI ethics awareness, like I'm trying to do now with you guys. Then we could support decentralized AI platforms by choosing to use them instead of using centralized AI platforms and maybe sacrifice a bit of convenience, but support the greater good in the long term. And of course, we could advocate for ethical AI policies by getting involved with some organizations or movements that push for AI regulations. Now, I think I gave you some things to think about, and I want to end this speech with the quotes of some of my favorite AI researchers, which are a little thought provoking. Stephen Hawking said, the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be superseded. I guess that's why biohacking right now is developing at a very fast pace as well. Then, Alan Turing says, it seems probable that once the machine thinking method has started, it would not take long to outstrip our feeble powers. They would be able to converse with each other to sharpen their wits. At some stage, therefore, we should have to expect the machines to take control. And lastly, Nick Bostrom, who is the author of Superintelligence, says machine intelligence is the last invention that humanity will ever need to make. So, with that said, I think we have all understood that it is important that we get on this boat and try to steer the development of AGI in the right direction. I hope I managed to inspire you a little bit on this, and I'm trying to do my part by educating on blockchain and AI. So I hope you had a fun time. Thank you very much. If anybody wants any more contact or is interested in collaborating or discussing some of the topics, here's my contact details.